Hi, and welcome back to the CQI Toolkit tutorial series. Today we're going to be looking at the return on investment tool. Now this is one of our more important tools, and we're actually, as an organisation, North Tyneside CCG uses this as triangulation of data. So whenever we create a project, we go through project management tools and we do a project justification, we do a benefits realisation, we do an action log, which is where we set out our project milestones, and then we use this one, the return on investment. So we have a white box at the top. You can input any free text, and this sort of helps people follow along the tool of what the investment is. So this investment could be relating to whatever the project is. So we're going to put investing in mobile technology. Now we have a breakdown of investments. Now each of these, we have an investment cost, implementation cost, project support cost, and we use our cost time tool to actually support any staff involved in the project's costs. We have a training cost, and then we've got any other costs. Now this is actually broken into 6 consecutive years. Now as part of the NHS we do a 5-year forward plan. I think most businesses tend to use something very similar along those lines. To actually start implementing any of these, we'll hover over the edit box. So for year 1, we'll put in some costs for that. So whatever your project costs are, you might put initial investment. We'll just put in some generic figures. 10,000. You can actually add any notes to support any of these. Implementation costs, we'll say 2,000. Project support costs, which again will have staff time and things like that, so we're going to put 5,000. Any training costs might be very small amount, put £200. Any other costs, again, this is probably one where you need to put the most notes in just to help people follow along. So all those together comes to £17,200, and that's the investment in the project. So I'll save that. Again, you can go through and edit any of these and add to each of the years. The next section we've got is our return on investments or cost savings. So you'll click the blue box to open this up. Now what we have in here is we'll put a name on. So how do you expect to recover these savings? So this might be through selling services to other businesses. We again have a note section that will let you make any notes about how you expect to recover these. They're optional, you don't have to fill them in. Now, what we've got in here is we've got 2 sections. We've got a projection and an actual. So when we first do a project justification, we put in a projection of what savings we expect to see back. So I'm just going to start inputting a few of these just so it generates the chart later on. And hopefully it should make sense as I'm going through. At the moment, these are broken into quarters. We are looking to make these into monthly, but again, it's very business specific how you actually project and record your actual outcomes. So I'm just putting in some generic figures just to sort of give some idea, and I'll save that for the time being, but as the projects are actually being realized, you would go back in and actually start inputting onto your actuals. So just to show you that, I can then go back in and edit. So once quarter 1 of year 1's passed, or month 1 of year 1, and you've actually got some business intelligence back, I could actually go back into that and then start inputting. Now I'm gonna just put again some generic figures. These don't relate to anything, I'm just making up as I go. Let's just actually show you it on the tool itself. So I'm not putting very many, I just want to save that now. Those have all saved. So we've then got this section down here, which is our results. So it's showing you that's the total cost, our expenditure for year one. These are the total savings, so it's only showing you the actuals that I put in, it's not showing you the projections. And what it's telling you is your return on investment measures by year. So for that, after quarter one, we were down 94% of the project. Quarter two, we're down 97%, and it's just showing you we're not actually recouping what we should be making. As the project progresses, hopefully you're going to start seeing those savings come back. If you notice a very steep incline, you can actually start a project before you start losing too much money on it. So again, it gives you the breakdown in a rolling measure and then a breakdown on your actual costs of your measure. So with those costs recovered, we're still down £15,400. So this bit at the bottom gives you a projection year, so it's showing you with those figures I put in, we're not going to make any savings in this project whatsoever. So at this point, it's probably a good indicator to say, actually, there's no point in doing this project because we're never going to make any money back off it, unless it's something that's relating to quality, health and safety or something like that, something that has to be done. But just for your generic projects, it's probably not a good idea to go forward with this one. And then it gives you your projection actual, so it's showing you how much profit and loss I made. So this one at the moment would be down the 15,400 I mentioned earlier. Now at the bottom we have the chart, and again this has the report. We'll select that and we'll go into that a bit later. But we've actually got our projected totals. So if you hover over any of these points, it shows you where we are. Now the blue will actually generate over time. So as the project progresses, I could have inputted every one of these actuals into them, but because we're not necessarily on quarter four of year 6, that chart wouldn't have generated across there. So that only generates based on the time date. That's something we looked at the start of the project when we actually done our project justification. We'll put in a beginning and end date of project. Again, it's based on real time, so this will actually start populating. So at the moment, the project's probably fine because it looks like we're actually above where we're supposed to be. But if you have this projection line going across here and then where profit and loss chart is actually showing a very steep decline, it's probably a good idea to either reevaluate the project or stop it at that point before you actually start losing too much money in your investment. And that's it for the return on investment chart.